All right, Sagittarius, welcome to your April of 2015 horoscope. My name is Athen. Okay, so we're coming out of a very transformational month of March with the fast-moving planets going over Uranus, activating that Uranus Pluto Square energy. And for the first 7 or 8 days of this month, we do have the Sun and Mercury going over Uranus for this first 10 days. So we're finishing up some things relating to that transformational energy. But the rest of the month from about the 8th onward, lots of this forward-moving momentum. We've got Jupiter going station direct. We've got a lot more of the fast-moving planets going into Aries to join up with Mars there. And so it's a lot of this active energy. I think, with all that transformation in the solar eclipse last month, this is a lot of new beginnings and a lot of gateways into the next 6 months, and this is definitely the beginning of that this month. So on the 4th, we've got the Lunar Eclipse taking place in Virgo, which is your 10th house. So I think if you guys have started something last October in relation to either work, either career, something on a public level, or relating to giving, contributing, being a part of something larger than self, maybe your visions or ideals, this could be a culmination point of that depending on the energies that were involved there. So this is in either case a high time and a reflective time of these matters, specifically around the career and 10th house related things. And I think through that you might gain some very good insights, you might see some opportunities, you might see a culmination to some degree of those 10th house matters, which is really nice. On the 5th, that's when we have the Sun going over Uranus, squaring up to Pluto, which is really activating, more of this Uranus squaring up to Pluto energy. But this first part of this month, the aspect between Uranus and Pluto isn't as exact as it was back in March. So not nearly as intense, but it is about breaking free. It is about you being yourself. It's about you expressing yourself, but more to do with your emotional side of life, the things that you're sentimentally connected to. You had Uranus transiting your 4th house. So maybe you guys have, over the past 3 years, have seen some big changes with home, with family, or with your emotional side of life, your sentiments in life. And so this is the final time here of this. It's been the last aspect of this Uranus squaring up to Pluto, but now this is the last of the fast-moving planets. So whatever it is about seeing how you can express your feelings, express yourself, and that be okay. You be yourself when it comes to the inside, the internal part of yourself, 4th house ruled by Cancer is like the soft insides that we have with the shell we put on the outside. And that's totally fine because we have to protect ourselves. We have to have shields from energy and things like this. But this is where it's, where you want to be yourself when appropriate, and have that understanding of how you can express yourself and when you want to, and that freedom that really brings from that. So it's another breakthrough moment of that, especially around the 5th and 6th there with the Sun. And you're kind of balancing that too with a lot of these changes that are going on for you in general, because Pluto's been transiting your 1st house. This has been a very powerful time for you, Sagittarians. Lots of transformation, lots of things changing with who you are, your self-image, and your goals, your ambitions. All these things are changing. So it's a nice balancing act there with expressing your feelings while at the same time being open to change when it comes to the things that are changing in your life, you see. Now, on the 7th and 8th, Mercury then goes over Uranus in that 4th house. So I think what's really topping off a lot of this whole transitional time of this month and last month is an objective understanding. Mercury is the planet of neutral understanding, of rational understanding. Going over Uranus, I think the 7th and 8th really notice, because there's an intuition at the very least developing in terms of really understanding how you can be yourself, express your feelings, make whatever changes are necessary in the home, family, or past, or whatever that's about for you. And that can be an understanding that can be with you for many years, a good rational, just because we integrate it and then it becomes a concept, and then that concept is something that we ground and understand. So very powerful there. And then that square up to Pluto could mean just balancing that again with these changes that are happening to your life path, which is going to be an ongoing thing with Pluto in your 1st. But this is about you releasing the attachments of, who you are, what you're doing, what your goals are, and just allowing things to unfold naturally. And there's a tremendous amount of power unfolding from that too with Pluto in the 1st. You guys are becoming very powerful in general, stepping into your power, maybe in relationships or just when appropriate. and that's creating a lot of the goals and opportunities for you guys. So that's a topping off there, especially the 7th and 8th. Then on the 8th, we've got Jupiter going station direct. So that's your ruler. So your ruler's been retrograde since about December of last year. So there's been perhaps some reflection, some internal work, some introverted sort of energy since then. But this now starts to become more extroverted now, more out into the open. And this is probably relating to the deeper side of life. Jupiter's been transiting that 8th house of yours. So maybe since the middle part of last year, you've seen the abundance when it comes to connecting to the deeper elements of life, or how there's beautiful things, beautiful opportunities when you're willing to be vulnerable, open up, or maybe share some more of yourself or some more of your values with others and these types of things. So whatever that is, now that energy is becoming less on the internal level, more on the external level, where you'll continue to see for the first half of this year more of those opportunities to express, to have those deeper connections, to take things to the next level, whether it's relationships or just your work, and really connect, or whatever it is, work, home, family, any area of life that you can connect to when it comes to seeing the abundance, seeing the beauty, when it's because it's something that really means something to you. It's truly valuable. But like I said, he's been retrograde, so I think you're going to slowly start to understand more and more of these opportunities there as the month sort of progresses. Now on the 11th, we have Mercury going into Aries, which is your 5th house. Lots of activity in your 5th house this month. So this is a very nice month for you, actually. 5th house is about fun, enjoyment, creativity, self-expression. So all of these things that essentially either are your creation or are the things that you enjoy in life that really put a smile on your face. This is the month for that. You've got Mars there all month. You've got the new moon taking place there on the 18th. You've got Mercury there now for the middle part of the month from the 11th through the 27th. So with Mercury here, think about these things. Think about your creativity. I think you naturally will. Being creative with your speech, being creative with your mind, being creative with poetry, or writing, anything that is a communication art that can be taken to that creative level, I think you can really enjoy. And I think, but all in all, I think it's just really understanding the things you value in life. What puts a smile on your face? So see that, have that rational understanding, and don't shy away from expressing it, communicating it. Mercury in the 5th house is about expressing yourself and just being yourself in many ways. I think a lot of this is coming from a lot of this internal transformation that's finishing up, like I said, for the first week of this month. Now on the 12th, we've got Mars sextiling up to Neptune, a nice aspect there between that Mars in your 5th, again, creativity. So this could be like imagination, very high creativity for you this month, especially I would say around the 12th, this whole middle part of the month really. And again, it's coming from your 3rd house. Neptune's been transiting your 3rd, so it's very interesting. There are lots of this association here between teaching, writing, sharing, communicating, learning, and this sort of creative element to it. So I'm not sure what that is for you individually, but look for those opportunities on the 12th. I think you'll find that very peaceful, to say the least. On the 14th, we have the Sun going into that 5th house, where he's exalted in Aries for the next 30 days. So again, express yourself, creativity, fun, joy. This is the time to do that for the next 30 days. And I think you'll find that a nice passion, a nice vital life force revitalization. Because like I said, it's a very transformative time. And now things are definitely start to opening up, whether it's, with our creative things in particular, but it's just us. So the Sun on the 5th is just about, again, being yourself, expressing yourself, being creative, and letting that light shine. 15th and 16th, Venus opposes up to Saturn. So this is one of the challenging aspects of the month, mid-month here. And it just has to do with balancing this Venus energy of your 6th house and the Saturn of your 12th. So first of all, with the Saturn in your 12th, you guys are going to continue to, I think, reflect on the structures you're building with spirituality, or the whole idea of spirituality, concepts behind these things, how perhaps you have to take your spirituality seriously, or ground it, or put it into something that's tangible in some way with Saturn in the 12th. So you're just balancing that stuff with the day-to-day activities, the day-to-day routine. So I think 15th and 16th, while I think this whole month you can definitely enjoy taking care of your health, taking care of the routine, self-improvement in general with Venus in that 6th, I think just balancing that stuff with making sure that you're not getting too extreme to either of the two, not too extreme into spirituality, not too extreme into just the physical elements of life. You want to balance those two, ground the spirituality, so to speak, and I think you'll find that especially useful, particularly around the 15th and 16th. The 17th, we have Mars squaring up to your ruler Jupiter, which is perhaps initiating some big plans. But then on the 18th, we have the new moon taking place in that 5th. So one thing I want to say about this is that I think this new moon is going to be very energetic for you because it's a 5th house new moon and it's in Aries. So there's this I think, ambition or plans or ideas or something you're thinking about doing that's creative or expressive or whatever. And so you want to really just reflect on this 17th, 18th, and 19th. Obviously, take those visions, take those big picture plans, but maybe write them down, maybe solidify them, maybe reflect on them, because this is what this astrology is showing me is it's definitely a time of just taking a step back for just a second. Not that there's anything wrong or that those aren't good plans, but you want to wait, because during the new moon, it's a time of receiving. It's a time of reflection. And so if you utilize that, then on the 21st and 22nd, once the full moon starts to gain momentum, you'll be able to put that into a much clearer, objective, and you have a much clearer understanding of what you're doing. Because without the understanding of what we're doing that we get during the new moon, the rest of the lunar cycle doesn't really mean much. So just make sure you're doing that reflection. And if you are guided to put energy forward, by all means. But on the 21st and 22nd, we have Mercury going over Mars, who's then trining up to Pluto. So this is a very powerful day in a very positive way on the 21st and 22nd. This is particularly, again, activating that 5th house. Fun, enjoyment, self-expression. Very powerful there. So that's the day to really move forward with those things, I would say, for sure. Understand it, think about it, put energy into it. Very powerful there with Pluto, with all this restructuring to your life path. It could be something relating to these goals, ambitions. It could be something relating to creativity in some way, new business, something like that. New child, perhaps. 5th house is children also. So something like that, 21st and 22nd, definitely very supportive for you. On the 26th, we have Venus sextiling up to Uranus, which is very nice. Could be something new coming about from, all of this routine stuff that you're enjoying. Venus in your 6th house. So I would say this whole month, like I was saying, enjoy the self-improvement, especially on the 26th. You might see something exciting about it. Might be able to understand more about it with that Uranus energy. That Uranus has been transiting your 4th. So it could be maybe, understanding how when you take care of your health, there's that freedom too. Because see, the 4th house isn't just our emotions. It's our body when it's the, I want to say soul. It's our soul, but it's the connection our body has to the soul. So when you're eating right, when you're in good health, that's when you have this good connection to spirit and spirituality in general. So in either case, 26 is a really good day for anything relating to those emotional sentiments, home, family, routine, 6th house related things. The 27th, we've got Mercury going into Taurus to meet up with Venus in that 6th house. I think you'll start to think more about the daily activities, the work, self-improvement, and that's going to be an energy leading into May. Then on the 29th, the last aspect of the month, we have the Sun sextiling up to Neptune. Again, more opportunities here for creativity, self-expression. So really look for those opportunities towards the tail end of this month leading into May. All right, Sagittarius, well, have a great month. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Do check out the daily and weekly horoscopes. If you have any questions, please let me know. Get in touch if you'd like a personal reading, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.